Hello everyone, wishing you all serenity and strength. Sometimes, it's not the storms outside that shake us, but the ghosts of our past who refuse to let us move on. For Diep, rebuilding her life wasn't just about survival, it was about reclaiming peace. So when CEO James offered to build her a new house, it wasn't merely an act of generosity. It was a vow, an offering of comfort, protection, and hope. But not everyone welcomed that future. Her ex-husband, Pao, a man who once held her heart but never learned how to protect it, suddenly reappeared. He didn't return with an apology or affection. He returned with resistance, not because he loved her, but because he couldn't bear the thought of another man doing what he never could: love her right. Now, standing at the crossroads of what was and what could be, Diep had a decision to make. Would she let the past hold her back, or would she allow love to guide her forward? The house of new beginnings. The countryside was quiet, blanketed in the scent of earth and freshly cut wood. On a small hill stood a half-finished wooden house, a symbol of rebirth. And there, beside her future home, stood James. His suit and tie days were behind him. Now, with rolled sleeves and dirt-streaked hands, he labored side by side with local workers. He wasn't just building a house, he was building a life. But peace, it seemed, could not be constructed with timber alone. From the moment the foundation was laid, shadows of the past began to stir. Pao, Diep's ex-husband, had vanished after their painful divorce, leaving behind debts and broken promises. Diep survived by selling vegetables, helping neighbors, and learning to smile again. Falling in love wasn't in her plan. But James entered her world quietly, sincerely, and without pretense. Just when it felt safe to open her heart again, Pao returned. Not for reconciliation, but with fire in his eyes and a bruised ego. Confrontation on sacred ground. One morning, as the workers nailed down the roof and children wandered by to watch the house rise, Pao stormed into the field. "This house is a lie," he roared. "She doesn't need your charity, James. She doesn't need you." The field fell silent. James turned calmly to face him, but Diep's heart pounded. She knew Pao well. His temper was a storm that left wreckage behind. "Pao," she said, her voice steady but trembling, "you lost the right to tell me what I need a long time ago." Pao scoffed. "You think this man loves you? What happens when he gets bored of mud and chickens?" James didn't flinch. "I'm not here for mud or chickens," he said, his voice firm. "I'm here for her." Pao took a step forward, anger rising. She was mine. James's reply was calm, but unshakable. She was never yours to own. Rumors, whispers, and steady hands. The days that followed were tense. Pao lingered in the village, whispering poison into the ears of neighbors. He's building that house to control her, he said. What kind of man builds on another man's land? Diep tried to stay strong, but the gossip gnawed at her. She avoided the market, her hands trembling while she cooked. James never pressured her. He simply continued building, managing carpenters by day, budgets by night, and always giving her space. One evening, under the hum of cicadas and the warm glow of oil lamps, Diep sat beside him as he sanded a wooden window frame. "Why do you stay?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. James looked up, surprised. "Because I believe in this, in us. And because sometimes, home isn't where you're born. It's who you build with." Tears welled in her eyes. For the first time in weeks, her shoulders dropped. Legal claims and emotional ground. But Pao wasn't done. He returned once more, this time with strangers holding legal documents, claiming rights to the land. Heated words were exchanged, threats thrown, but James was prepared. With support from a local lawyer, he calmly presented proof of land transfer, debt settled, and ownership cleared. Later that night, James held her hand. "Love isn't a cage, Diep," he said gently. "It's a door we open together. You can walk away anytime. But if you stay, I'll make sure this place feels like freedom, not fear." And for the first time, the unfinished house began to feel like home. Rain, secrets, and silent joys. The rainy season arrived early. Each afternoon, dark clouds gathered, and the pitter-patter of raindrops on the roof became their evening symphony. James worked with quiet urgency, mud on his boots, blisters on his hands, wearing the same faded shirt for days. Gone was the polished CEO. This was a man building a dream with sweat and sincerity. Yet behind Diep's smile was a secret she hadn't shared, not even with herself. It began with fatigue. A strange reaction to food. An unexplained surge of emotion when James handed her a wildflower. Then she remembered the dates. That night, under a flickering candle in the small room beside the construction site, she took a pregnancy test. Two lines. She sank to the floor, breath caught, heart racing. Could she really raise a child here, in this half-finished house, amid remnants of her past? She didn't tell James. Not yet. She needed to be sure that the life growing inside her would be born from peace, not fear. A farewell and a new chapter. But life had one more twist. Pao returned. Alone, no rage. No bravado, just regret. I came to say goodbye, he said quietly, standing beside the garden. I was angry, seeing you build something better without me. It burned. He looked down at his hands, then back at her. But I see now how he treats you. He's not me. Too Diep nodded. No, he's not. Then, with a hesitant breath, Pao asked. Is it true? Are you carrying his child? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. The market whispers, he said with a bitter smile. Take care of that child. Don't let the past bleed into their future. And with that, he walked away, for good. That evening, Too Diep finally told James. He sat on the half-built porch, watching the rain. I'm pregnant, she said softly. He turned slowly, eyes wide, somewhere between wonder and fear. Are you? Okay, she nodded, tears falling. Scared, but yes. He rose, walked to her, and knelt. Gently, he placed a hand on her belly. Then we'll do this together. Every step. I don't know how to be a father, but I know how to love. She laughed through tears, and as they held each other in the doorway of their unfinished home, the rain washing over the world outside, it didn't matter that the roof still leaked or the past still lingered. What mattered was this: two hearts, steady in the storm, ready to build something far greater than a house. A family. Life lesson. Real love doesn't shout. It builds. The story of Too Diep and James is one of healing, not just of hearts, but of identities. When the past came knocking, Too Diep could have folded. Instead, she stood firm. And James, a man of power, didn't fight with wealth or words. He fought with patience, humility, and quiet protection. Pao's final act, of stepping away with grace, reminds us that sometimes the strongest thing we can do is let go. Too Diep's pregnancy wasn't just a twist. It was a symbol that something beautiful can grow, even from broken pieces.